Welcome back, everyone. If you want to know how to prepare for the upcoming race, that Queen City Half Marathon and the Breakwater 5K,
or even really any other 5K that we got going on this summer.
Yeah, that's coming up, because we'll have that list coming up soon. You need to stay in tune for these next couple of segments, because now we have Lukus Klawitter joining us, and he is the Assistant Professor of Biomechanics at NMU. Lukus, thank you for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I was really trying to have something to really pair that race with, and I felt like you were the best person to contact. So are you feeling good this morning? It's not too early, is it, for you either?
Yeah, no, it's actually quite late morning for me, so this is pretty nice.
Oh, really?
If 9 a.m. is too early for somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people 9 a.m. might be a little too early.
Moving early, so. Yeah.
So, speaking of biomechanics, what exactly does that mean? And as an assistant professor, like, how do you teach your students?
Yeah, so biomechanics is essentially the study of human movement through mechanical variables. So we think about physics and then how that applies to the body itself. So how forces operate internally and then how we move our body to the external environment. So we take into account things like gravity, friction, different types of friction, ground reaction forces, and then, apply that to whether it's like a clinical setting or a sport setting. So in this case, running, right?
Mm-hmm. So. And of course, when it comes to running, most of us, even if we are running the Queen City Half Marathon this weekend, we're not used to that level of movement on a daily basis, hitting the pavement, hitting the trails for over 13 miles. So it does take some preparation. Even if you are a super athletic, you can't just go right into running 13 plus miles.
Yeah, definitely you said like the impact component. So we think about running, like one step, our body receives impact forces from the ground, and it's depending on surface type and the shoe type, and over time that repeated stress, right, can lead to particular injuries of some sort if the body's not adapted to these external stresses, so yeah.
So how do different variables like the shoes we're wearing, the type of surface that we're running on, how we're stretching, what we eat, maybe even the weather, how does this all play into how our body feels when we run and whether or not we're susceptible to injuries?
Yeah, loaded question.
A very loaded question. I'm sorry. We do have a half hour, though, for the rest of the show. So.
Okay, well, I mean, particularly with surface type, we think about running on concrete versus running on grass, right? So the grass is going to move a little bit more, so the forces applied to the body will be a lot less. So impact forces and risk for injury is decreased. The shoe type that we wear, traditional trainers, right, Kevin, Queen City, it's going to put you in a good running shoe that's meant for your body, and again dampen those loading forces, but also like help with propulsion as well. It's another cool thing about running shoes these days. They help kind of store and release energy as we run forward. Nutrition component is a big one. Sleep and nutrition is probably the biggest thing when it comes to exercise in terms of recovery and preparation for a race day, but yeah.
So how exactly should, I guess, the mechanics be for somebody who is trying to run? I know a lot of people may run with their hands open, palms up, or some may run with their fists closed. I know when I used to do track in high school, I was told to run with my hands open. So does that have any type of impact on how somebody run? And should people try to run more on like the balls of their feet, or should it be more of like a full motion? Like how do you feel like that impacts somebody's running ability?
Yeah, so to give you like the dorky term in exercise science, our body moves in particular planes, and in this case we run which is called the sagittal plane, right? So we want to think about our body moving in the same direction. So maybe less of like, like whether you're gripping your hands are open, but just think about like flexion of your shoulders and your elbows and your hips and your knees, and all in the same direction, right? We do know as we fatigue, we kind of start to move in different areas, and that's where we start to lose energy. And again, those mechanic changes increases that injury risk component. So really focusing on striking the ground with your foot underneath your center of mass, and then really just hips, knees, arms, or elbows, shoulders movement in that kind of same direction, right?
So you want to make sure you're like a well-oiled machine, nothing out of place, because stuff gets janky, then
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, got you. That makes sense. Okay, well, we'll have to take another commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the importance of nutrition and injury prevention and also day of preparation for a race like this. So we'll be back in 3. Stay with us.